Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Constitutional lawyer, former police officer, Jaime Balasia, running for major office in the state of Texas. Going to be joining us coming up. But I want to give Mark Dice the next 5 minutes the floor. Mark, so many other facets of the Illuminati. Keep breaking it down. It's fascinating.
Now, I wanted to talk about what these students found when they broke into the Skull and Bones headquarters. And I certainly don't advocate burglary, but this is what happened. They broke into this headquarters in 1876, wrote a newsletter, published it, spread it around campus. And inside this headquarters, which has no windows, where they meet every Thursday and Sunday night for sessions to prepare them for their positions where no alcohol again is served, because, you know, just taking over the world's serious business. They found a plaque on the wall written in German that was given to them by their German brothers. They also found a plaque with 4 human skulls, a picture of 4 human skulls, and below it was written in German, which one is the king, which one is the beggar, which one is the wise man, and which one is the fool. And so many people may not understand what that means, but if you read John Robeson's book, the first book really written about the Illuminati in English, again covering the original confiscated writings that were confiscated on 3 different occasions in Germany. He explained one of the induction rituals to a particular level of the Bavarian German Illuminati, and a candidate was shown a skull and asked whether it was a king, a wise man, a beggar, or a fool. And then the answer to the riddle is, to them, they said, well, it doesn't matter because all is the same in death. And what that means to them is they don't believe in any sort of an afterlife. It's a social Darwinistic philosophy. And so we have the founder of Skull and Bones studying in Germany, where the Illuminati is active, when the Illuminati is expanding, coming back, starting a secret society that became so powerful. I mean, presidents, starting the CIA, starting the American Educational Society, the Historical Society, etc. Just largely responsible for starting all these bogus wars based on lies. So we have this group with the same goals, the same symbols, the same rituals, the same language. I mean, by the way, they eat off of Adolf Hitler's silverware, reportedly, during their Sunday session. So it's not just a conspiracy theory. It's not a fraternity. There's clear indications that they were directly connected to the Skull and Bone, or to the Bavarian German Illuminati. Of course, they kneel down and kiss a human skull and are given a new name, and mostly demonic names like Long Devil or Beelzebub or Baal, as they're reborn into this brotherhood of death, which teaches them the secret of Satanism, the royal secret, which is their philosophy, which is carried on in secret, which now we have, again, being promoted in the mainstream by pop stars, just promoting Satanism as cool. As we can see, Christianity is completely under assault. It's fine to criticize and blaspheme and defame Jesus and Christianity, but you can't criticize certain other religions, otherwise bad things will happen to your career. Katy Perry, by the way, of course, scrubbed a necklace that was considered blasphemous to the Muslims in her, Illuminati-themed Dark Horse of the Apocalypse music video, because Muslims started a petition because she used black magic and destroyed a figure who had an Allah penance, God in Arabic. So they bow down to that, but of course, it's cool for her to be burning Christians at the stake during her Grammy performance as well. And what's interesting, last month the Bohemian Grove happened, another just an offshoot of this, satanic brotherhood, this invisible empire. And of course, not a word in any of the mainstream press. As you know, the Bilderberg Group slowly has been covered a little bit because they can't cover it up with social media, with shows like yours. It would be obvious at this point that there is a cover up. So occasionally, the last couple of years, we've seen a little bit in the mainstream about the Bilderberg Group. It is somewhat easy to dismiss it as, oh, it's just a private meeting. Don't worry about the fact that we haven't mentioned it for the last 60 years. But not a word of the Bohemian Grove, because, well, how do you possibly explain the cremation of care when you see the photos of the video, which you, of course, famously
Or
shot?
Henry Kissinger in drag, bending over, doing something. And I've seen that there, a photo of that hanging on a tree when I was there, while Kissinger was there. and it was horrifying. Mark Dice, markdice.com. Great job. We'll have you back up soon. Thank you so much. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox special at InfoWarsLife.com. In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get controlled and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
I don't want to be your British hell. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. We're here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. And then I return live. I'll be live this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time in this studio, covering all the important news. I'll be on the nightly news tonight, 7 o'clock Central, doing a special report detailing and documenting what I spent 10 minutes on in the last hour, getting into the fact that Al-Qaeda is called IS now, or ISIS. They're being protected. They're giving a third of the country of Iraq to them, but they started taking over Kurd areas. So now they've been bombed, and then that lets Obama act like NATO and others aren't funding them. So again, this is a great example of full spectrum dominance and how the system controls the drug trade, controls the money laundering, and then busts the little people. Just like they run the terrorism. Now, the terrorists are real, and that threat does go on, but it's way overblown, and it's protected and shepherded and allowed to thrive as a pretext for the military-industrial complex. It was declassified in 1972 in congressional hearings, again in 1997 with the CIA Inspector General. I watched those hearings live on C-SPAN, played clips of it on the radio that night. It was huge. it was on none of the news, but it was on C-SPAN, them admitting, yes, we've been shipping most of the cocaine in for decades, and then we distributed it on the streets, and we're going to stop now. And when in Vietnam, they were shipping in most of the opium out of Vietnam, and then they're going to stop now. And in Iraq, they're growing the opium and making the troops grow it, and then it gets shipped in. And if you get caught with it, or your kid gets on it, or you get caught with synthetic stuff from your doctor, and that you go out because you got back pain, you're going to go to jail. That's a disease. That's abuse. That's not a reason to put somebody in prison. But we have the biggest prison population in the world. 3 million people behind bars at any one time. Now, there's 7 million in the system. That's more than communist China. While meanwhile, the border's wide open, illegals are pouring in mass, and they can be felons and they're released. It's just crazy town. And the average cop I know totally agrees with me, is totally freaked out. I've had Travis County prosecutors come to my office, tell me about all the stuff that's going on, how they want decriminalization, how it's the big prisons lobbying for all these drug laws to keep people in the system. And yeah, you can use drug laws to get criminals that are doing other really bad stuff, robbing people and stuff, but the drug trade keeps the price up, and that's what lets the higher level dealers basically profit from all this. And Jamie Malaysia is an amazing guy. I've known him for 3 or 4 years, but I've seen his billboards and heard him on the radio. And if you live in Texas, you know about the DWI dude who fights back against the police state that we have in this country, where they're taking blood without warrants on the side of the highway, all under federal grants. And this is happening all over the country. And, of course, he wrote a book that became a really big seller, breaking all this down. In fact, we sell it at InfoWarsStore.com. But he's with us because he's thrown his hat in the ring. Even if he doesn't win, he'll inject sanity, and we appreciate that, into the debates that are on TV, into all the radio interviews he'll do. I mean, it's really exciting to see this type of stuff going on when you get into the libertarian realm, trying to not just get Tea Party people elected, but folks you could call kind of Republican on some issues, Democrat on others, but really just an old-fashioned Texas guy who wants freedom. So he's a really good guy, and Jamie joins us. DWIDude.com is his main law firm site. You can find out about his 2014 run for Texas Attorney General there. And again, it's important for him because he's a smart guy, well-spoken, has the facts, is a former police officer from Austin. Most of the guys that work for him are former police officers, and he's one of the most successful law firms in the country defending people from violations of their constitutional rights. When you pull up to Art Acevedo's, and Art's a nice guy, but still he's doing stuff, getting federal grants I'm against, just like when he wants gun control. You know, Mr. Malaysia is not for that. We'll get his view on that. It's unconstitutional. I need to show signs of being impaired. I need to be driving recklessly. I don't need to have a breathalyzer shoved in my face. I mean, that's not America, folks, and it doesn't keep us safe. And MAD and others are just used to expand the police state, not actually stop the dangerous drunk drivers that are out there. Now, my rant's done. I just know some stations join us in the third hour. DWIDude.com, and he's a criminal justice system for 35 years. He has a true passion for defending people's legal rights. Jamie has been able to win the so-called unwinnable cases by bringing more experience, training, and desire to the courtroom than the state or any other lawyers can. He's testified as an expert witness in felony cases and on drug alcohol issues. He's also assisted other attorneys in DWI cases reduced due to his analysis of the police officer performance. Jamie truly believes that you shouldn't have to pay for a DWI or criminal conviction for the rest of your life, and he joins us now. That's quite a rant, Jamie, but you're here running as the Libertarian candidate for Texas Attorney General, and I think you'd bring a lot of balance to the extreme left that's up there and the extreme good old boy right. I see a Texas case here where a guy that made pot brownies is facing 7 years to more for making pot brownies for his buddies. I mean, that's not the kind of country I want to live in. I don't want to live in a country where when somebody drives in with Colorado plates, the state police pull them over because we think they got dope in the car. I talk to cops. I say, look, Bank of America, Wells Fargo are on record, Wachovia, laundering hundreds of billions in drug money. Here's the news article. Why don't you go after them? I mean, they're owning the aircraft, running the flights, getting the weapons. They're like, well, we're not allowed to go after them. No, we're going to go after a teenager dumb enough to be driving around with a half ounce of marijuana in their car, and then it wrecks their life, sucks them into the system.